Let me ask you a fascinating question. Why is it that in a video game we can die and simply just try over and over again? Why is it that we are deeply afraid to fail in real life, but in a video game we can take hundreds of imperfect action? And our only reaction is, cool, let me try again. But if someone would be able to view life as a video game, their entire reality would completely change. Suddenly, making mistakes in business would be effortless. Approaching a girl on the street, effortless, and you just take it as a data point. You make any mistake, you fail, cool, you just take it as a data point. And I want to preface all this that while this topic seems so simple, the answer is actually crazy complex, and it took me years to solve this problem. But once I did it, I took more actions under 6 days than I did previously under a year, which is crazy by the way. But how did I do it? To answer this, we actually need to go back in time, because after signing a whale client and I started traveling the world and I hit 10k a month, something suddenly started to happen with me. And I wasn't even aware of all this. My identity slowly shifted from being the guy who is figuring it out and is on the come up to being the guy who made it. I started giving more advice, then I listened to advices, and after hitting 10k per month, I literally haven't grown my business at all for a whole year. But here is the crazy thing. I actually wasn't aware of all of this because I was winning in life. Expensive villas, millionaire friends, crazy house parties. Things were going great, so obviously I didn't see a need to change. Until a month ago I had a conversation and a drama with my client that kinda changed everything. I noticed this year my client was asking me more and more unreasonable things. Make more animations, do more things, add this thing, add that thing. And one day I found myself in a situation where I was technically doing 3 times more work than we originally agreed on. And this simply didn't sit right with me. I deeply felt that this wasn't fair, but at the same time I was stuck. I had golden handcuffs. I was afraid to have this conversation with my clients because I was deeply afraid my client will leave. And my brain started to think about, what if I lose the client? What if I have to go back? What if this lifestyle is just temporary and I have to leave all this? What will my friends or my parents think? How will I see myself after? And amidst this thought spiraling, I just caught myself. I was like, who is even afraid of all this happening? Who is afraid of failing here? And I realized that wasn't me being afraid of failure. That was my ego. I catch myself and I realized that it was just my ego trying to uphold a certain self-image. So I just seen this as a problem that has to be fixed ASAP. And according to my knowledge, what I knew would help is meditation. So I decided to pick up meditation after technically not meditating for a whole year. And by total coincidence, I actually started doing a certain type of meditation from an app called Waking Up app from Sam Harris. And before this, I used to just do mindfulness meditation, but in this app, he was teaching non-dual awareness meditation, which I haven't done before. Why all this resonated with me a lot is because Sam famously says that the point of meditation is not to increase your focus or sleep better or reduce stress. While those things are nice and there actually are benefits, the main benefits of meditation that outshines all the others are technically waking up to the illusion of the self. So by total coincidence, I started doing this meditation and just going deep into the practices he was mentioning. And I noticed something strange. Somehow, as I was practicing this meditation and time went on, I started to become less of a perfectionist and I started having less of a fear of failure. It was very strange because as if out of nowhere, I suddenly wouldn't have an issue being a beginner, asking for advice, or making imperfect YouTube videos. The craziest thing is that once I made a decision that I want to go all in on consulting, I started making videos, made a post, started a school funnel, messaged people, made a pitch deck, got on a call and signed a client, and took so much imperfect action on the right thing that it was unheard of from me in the past. If anyone knows me, they probably know that I actually struggle a lot with perfectionism, and something like this is extremely hard for me. And suddenly, I just took crazy amount of action and transcended the mid-wit meme. And the weird thing is that I literally couldn't connect cause and effect, and I have zero idea of what just happened or how I was able to figure out. I definitely knew I stumbled upon something, but I simply didn't know how. Until one day I asked myself the question, why is it that we can fail in a video game hundreds of times, but in real life we try to avoid failure as much as possible? And when we fail in real life, we consider ourselves a failure. The question is actually pretty obvious, because in a video game, while I say I died, I bought a new armor, I leveled up, we are obviously aware that we are just playing a character. We are obviously aware that it's not us dying in a video game. But in real life it's quite different. When we get rejected, it's us getting rejected. When a business fails, it's us failing. When someone confronts us, it's us getting confronted. Or are we? Once I started taking non-dual meditation seriously, it made me come to the conclusion that the self is just an illusion. It doesn't just make you realize the fact that the voice speaking in your head is not you, but even the one listening to the voice is an illusion too. And this realization helped me have a distance from me as the awareness, from my identity. And strangely, this is the exact same effect you feel when you play a video game. You are aware that you are playing a character, but the character is not you. It helps you have the same distance. And once you have that distance between awareness and identity, just in a video game, same in real life, perfectionism and fear of failure just disappears. Suddenly, fear of failure doesn't hurt that much because it doesn't feel like you failed. Because you are simply not identified and not totally attached with your identity. This might actually be the most useful thing for me to defeating perfectionism and fear of failure. Because the truth is that perfectionism and fear of failure is just your ego wanting to make sure you don't fail, and it wants to learn, it wants to gather new information, it wants to perfect things. Technically, your ego wants to make sure you don't fail, and it tries to increase the chances you don't get rejected or don't become a failure, so you just continue to learn, continue to consume new information, continue to play it safe, continue to trying to make every detail perfect before shipping it. And if you notice, everyone is struggling from this. And once you defeat this, once you are able to overcome this, and as I'm saying, the best way I found to overcome this is actually to have the distance from you as the awareness, from your identity. And once you have that, because you are not totally attached or identified with your identity, failure doesn't hurt, because it doesn't feel like your YouTube video getting low views, doesn't feel like you getting rejected. It just feels like a data point. And I can't stress enough of how life-changing this can be for most of you guys, and I genuinely recommend that you pick up the habit of meditation. If anything, I would recommend to pick up this type of meditation, like non-dual awareness meditation. I think I will just leave a link below of like what I used. It's not affiliated with me at all, but I will leave a link for you guys down below. And actually you can also get, I think, like a 1 year free trial or 1 year scholarship, which is pretty crazy. So I definitely recommend taking advantage of this. And I think meditation being one of those habits that, you know, like sometimes we start, sometimes we stop, we don't see the point in it, but I know that literally everyone who wants to make money online, who wants to grow their business, struggle with the point of taking more action, struggle with learning, struggling with putting their ego aside and actually just going for the thing. You know, guys, there is this meme of like, you know, the beginners just take action, the midwit meme of like, oh, the guys overthinks it, you know, analyzes, does all these things, and the professionals or the really good just takes action. But most people don't understand why that happens. And that simply happens because the midwit, and this is true in literally everything in real life, the middle class, the midwit meme thing, what defines the midwit is that they are deeply afraid of failing. And they are deeply afraid of failing is because them as a person is totally attached to their identity. And if they take any actions, they fail, they make anything, they feel like it's a direct attack on their identity. So, thanks for watching, and if this was helpful, I recommend checking out this video where I just explain one of my favorite frameworks on how to grow your business, why storytelling can be one of your most life-changing weapon, and see you there. And pick up meditation too. Bye bye.